Hi everyone, I'm Heidi. I'm Ozzie and Zeke's mom, and I want to talk to you about why I try to keep Ozzie and Zeke's fur well groomed and why I believe that it is important. You might know that in a lot of cases, animals are self-groomers. There are some instances where they may not be, but a lot of times that when a cat grooms himself or herself, they'll end up getting a bunch of fur and their digestive system. And you're probably familiar with what's called a fur ball, which is something that a cat will often choke up. It is a large cluster of fur and it gets caught in their digestive system. And a lot of times when they're fortunate, they can cough it up with no harm or problem. But as you can possibly imagine, especially for longer hair cats, as the fur accumulates, it could eventually cause some digestive problems for the cats. And there's been some rare instances where the cat has actually choked and died from a fur ball. Now, I would never have thought of that, but I actually saw a post not too long ago from a cat owner that had a cat that got a fur ball caught in their throat and it suffocated within about 5 minutes. Really scary situation. Obviously, that's not something you want to deal with. It's a bit overwhelming when you are new to pet ownership and you start doing some searches on cat combs or cat brushes and kind of like, what is all this stuff and what do I need for my cat? My first tool, it's not really a tool, is a pair of grooming gloves. Now this is a great way to break kittens in, or just a cat that doesn't like to be groomed, but the cat is okay with being pet. It's a cotton glove and it has these little sticky dots on it, and you can even find some that have even little spikes if you want, and it just really feels good for your cat. You just basically rub your hand in the same direction as you would petting your cat, the way that the fur lies, and you eventually will collect fur on the glove. My second tool is a boar's hair brush. This brush is really soft bristles. It's very gentle. It's not going to get in there and mess with any kind of mats that your cat might have. It's definitely just really to kind of get used to them used to it. This is something that I would use on a kitten or on a cat that really doesn't like being groomed. Just, get it used to going behind the ear area and other areas, maybe even the stomach, that a cat normally wouldn't like. I would just very gently use this and make it an experience that, you're normally just lying there petting your cat, and then you go ahead and you introduce the boar's hair brush just to get them used to getting brushed. My third tool is a comb that has 2 different width teeth on it. Now these teeth are really nice. They have rounded bottoms, and the narrower teeth are for the shorter hair cats, and the farther apart teeth are for the longer haired cats. And this is very nice for Maine Coons because a lot of times Maine Coons have 2 different types of fur, but you might have a multi-household full of cats and you might have both short hair and long hair, and this comb will come in handy for both. Also, the thing that I really like about these teeth that are farther apart is that if you do have a mat and you're trying to work your way through it, you might want to just use the motion of trying to break it up, and it's a lot easier with the ones that are farther apart than the ones that are closer together. Tool number 4 is a multi-length tooth comb. And the nice thing about this is that the longer teeth also have rounded edges, as do the shorter ones, but it allows you to get to the undercoat of the cat's fur. Now this one I would probably use more than likely on a shorter haired cat, but if your cat is really well groomed and has longer hair, you can use it on your longer haired cat as well. this is definitely a nice tool to have in your set of grooming tools. So tool number 5 is a deshedding tool. This is a very helpful tool to have in the spring and summer months when your cat is shedding a lot. This tool actually has tiny little microblades, so they are cutters. So when you are combing your cat, it's combing through and cutting their fur. It's actually a really nice tool that helps get a lot of that dead extra fur out of them and keep them pretty much at a reduced amount of fur. And also it has this cleaner here, and when you push on it, it will release the fur. It's actually a very handy tool to have, but you can definitely feel that there are blades in it, and your cat will love it. It actually will get down there and really feel good when you are grooming your cat. Tool number 6, I have 2 of them. These are mat removers or rakes, and they're really nice to remove mats out of your cats. They also, like tool number 5, have a blade inside of them, and it's in the corner area. What's nice about that is you can get the tool inside between their skin and the mat and pull, and it will cut out the mat. It's a really nice tool. In the case of this one, it's spaced a little bit farther apart for those longer haired cats. And then you can also get one that's a dually. It's got the blades that are farther apart for the longer hair, or you can even have the closer together ones for the shorter hair cats. So if you have a duo cat family, you might like this better. This one is nice for long haired cats as well. I like them both, and in fact what I tend to do is I'll tend to have one in one area of the house, and then I'll strategically place one in another area, so that way when my cat is with me and if I'm watching TV or something, I can grab it, and if I find a mat, then I want to usually get the mats removed as soon as I can. And that's why I really like these tools. Tool number 7 is a self-cleaning brush. Now this is almost a bit more like a comb because it has metal teeth in it. They're not really true brush bristles like the boar's hair. It's not hair. It's you know, pretty stiff, but you would still call it a brush with metal bristles. And the nice thing about this, especially if your cat is well groomed, is it'll just get down there and get to the undercoat, and you can very quickly push on the button and it will release and leave an area where you can very simply remove the cat hair. It's a very nice, it's called a self-cleaning, even though you do have to hit the button. Tool number 8 is a pair of pet grooming scissors. Now, in most cases, I would not recommend using scissors. It's really dangerous. Cat's skin is very thin, and if you tend to try to cut a mat out and you get really close to the skin, you could end up nicking your cat, which would be very bad. It could cause an infection. So I don't recommend it, but there could be some scenario where maybe you have a really big, long fur ball and you know that you can keep away from the skin and you can cut the middle of it, and it just might be nice to have, but this is just kind of a rarity. I try not to use scissors if I possibly can, but it's still nice to have the right ones. Tool number 9 are pet clippers. So you can usually find dog or cat clippers, and in this case these are dog clippers, but they work for cats. They have a bunch of different length blades, and if you're really don't want your cat to look shaved, then I recommend using a longer blade on your cat. And if you want to get a little bit closer to the skin, then obviously use a shorter blade. Zeke tends to get an area, he sometimes tends to get a sanitary cut from us sometimes. It helps the area around his butt not get poo in it. So that's one of the things that we like to do, is shave that area and give him a sanitary cut. It helps him when he goes to the bathroom. But There could be areas such as the stomach of the cat in the summer months especially, and the areas to the armpits and the legs. Ozzie tends to get a lot of mats, especially when he's hot. And if you haven't been able to get in there and groom, then he tends to build up mats on those areas. So sometimes we'll actually do a quick little shave and get Ozzie all shaved up as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found the information helpful. If you enjoy this content, consider subscribing to the channel for more cat-related content. Thanks for watching, and in the meantime, have fun with your cat.